But first, the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to take up former President Donald Trump's appeal in the Colorado ballot case. The state Supreme Court disqualified him late last month, citing the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. It bars those who have taken an oath and participated in or aided with an insurrection from holding office again. Oral arguments are set to begin in early February. CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford joins us now. So, Jan, just to kind of set the table, break down the legal arguments.
Well, I mean, this was a kind of a post-Civil War provision that was designed to prevent insurrectionists, people trying to overthrow the United States, secede from the Union, from then being reelected to office after the Civil War. And so opponents of Trump have argued that that should also bar him from holding the presidency again because he was an insurrectionist on January 6th.
Okay.
Now, no state court agreed with that argument, not one, until we got the Colorado Supreme Court. And they ruled, narrowly divided 4-3, that Trump did commit insurrection on January 6th. They just decided that. He's not been charged with that or convicted of that. But this court said, yes, he committed insurrection and that he was an officer of the United States. He had been. And so, therefore, he could be declared ineligible, disqualified from running for president, and that's what they did.
So what do you make of the speed with which the court has taken this case?
Well, I mean, I think they had no choice. You know, you've got the Colorado Supreme Court out there saying that Trump can be disqualified from a state's primary ballot, i.e. Colorado. Now, he's on the ballot for now while this case plays out. But in the wake of that, it was like, you know, you saw all these other...
It was like dominoes, basically.
Domino effect, right? You had Oregon, you had California, you had the Maine Secretary of State, people in Illinois. I mean, all these mostly Democratic states were like, hey, wait a minute. If Colorado is saying he can be disqualified, we're going to do it too. So, I mean, I think the court had no choice but to take this up, and they have to do it quickly. I mean, these ballots have to be printed. Primaries are going to be taking place, so they've got to decide it. They set argument for February 8th, and I would expect a decision quickly after that, potentially within weeks, maybe by the end of next month.
Maybe by the end of the next month. So what does it mean, sort of big picture? Does the decision sort of set a national standard?
Yes, it would. It would. Every state, you know, if they rule on the Colorado Supreme Court case, which they're going to do, that doesn't mean that Illinois can go off and do something else on its own. This will affect all the primaries, and it will definitively say if Trump can or can't be disqualified under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. I would be shocked, honestly. Now, we haven't seen arguments yet, but I would be shocked if the Supreme Court goes along with that ruling and says courts can disqualify someone from running for president. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to say that the Colorado Supreme Court was wrong, that Trump can be on the ballot, but that's not the end of Trump's legal problems.
I was just going to say,
that is right. This is only the first. I mean, buckle your seatbelt, because this is going to be a crazy year at the Supreme Court, because they are going to have to decide any number of cases involving Donald Trump, and that is something, obviously, they don't want to do, but they're given no choice. They've got this case, which they're going to rule on potentially by the end of next month. Then after this one, there's the whole issue of whether or not Trump can be prosecuted as a result of January 6th, whether he's immune from criminal prosecution. They may have to take that one up. Then they've got to decide the issue of, well, if he's going to be prosecuted, what can he be prosecuted for? There's a whole question about whether he can be prosecuted for obstruction. All of this on the horizon between now and June. And then think about all the other legal challenges between June and November with ballot access, all other sorts of things. So I think, you know, when you think about the court, the controversies that have dogged the Supreme Court, Trump having 3 appointees to that court, this is a court that doesn't want to have to decide these hot-button political issues, and this is a court that is going to have to do that time and again this year.
Just in the final few seconds, how is history going to look at this moment in time?
Well, I mean, look back at Bush versus Gore, right? I mean, think how we saw that pivotal case that decided the presidency, that turned the presidency over to George Bush, and how that embroiled the court in controversy. It took a huge hit, you know, to its image, and in polling reflected that for years afterward. That's one case, and that was a time when we're not nearly as divided as we are now. So we're going to have several cases, all involving someone who's much more divisive than George Bush in 2004 or Al Gore were in 2001. I mean, and so you know, it's going to be completely different. I think it's going to be much more politically charged. This is not 2000, 2001 anymore.
Yeah, you're right about the field there. Jan Crawford, thank you for your analysis.